Hey everybody, we're coming up on the end of 2021 and the start of 2022, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight into what's coming up in the new year today on Greyhawk Grognard. Alrighty, so 2021 is almost in the rearview mirror completely, and just wanted to give a quick little retrospective on what's been going on here. Obviously, Book of Lost Beasts and Book of Lost Lore was published. That was really successful. The print version will be back available very, very soon. Just correcting a little issue that some of you know about. Published the first in my series of quarterly adventure modules, the Hamlet of Volage. We got two more coming out in that trilogy, and then I'll be carrying on with other adventure modules set elsewhere in the world of Greyheim, or whatever I'm calling it. In addition to that, there will hopefully be a new Kickstarter in the coming year. It's not done being written yet. It's in progress, but it's not done, and I don't want to put it up until it is done, because I don't want to fall into that trap of, oh my god, I've raised all this money, now I have to write it. My writing just doesn't work that way. I write when inspiration hits, and when it does, it just all comes out. So far, it's been doing pretty well. So I'm very excited about that. So more details on that when it gets closer. But one of the big things I wanted to talk about is another project, which is specifically Greyhawk, that is going to be coming up in the new year in my Patreon community. And this is something that's eventually going to see the light of day on the blog, because it's going to be published under the fan content policy. It's something I call the Great Greyhawk Campaign, and the idea is it's sort of a takeoff on the Great Pendragon Campaign, for those of you who are familiar with that really terrific game. The Great Greyhawk Campaign is basically going to be a mini gazetteer / guide for every year that the timeline moves forward after 576. So, there'll be a chapter for 577 and 578 and yada yada all the way on. And the idea is to give an overview of the changes that are happening in the setting, of adventure modules that are published that take place in a specific time, that when they're there, changes that are happening between the different factions. This group is doing this to that group here. It's going to have changes in the encounter tables as they become applicable. There'll be listings of changes of governments, and this king died and this person did this, and it's basically going to allow the dungeon master to do one of two things. Either to involve his players in the specific events that are happening in the published adventures, as the time moves on. And I know a lot of people aren't very keen on Greyhawk Wars or From the Ashes or those things, but they are the published sources, and a lot of people do like them. So please don't just come in here in the comments and say, well, I hate it. I hate it. Don't advance the timeline, because what? Guess what? Gygax advanced the timeline with his events in the Floness articles in Dragon Magazine back in the day. So it's already happened way before Carl Sargent got a hold of it. And the idea is you can either involve your players in the events, or they're just happening in the background. It'll give your campaign a great sense of historical realism, of verisimilitude. To have rumors in the taverns of, this happened in the Great Kingdom, or there was this battle fought over here, or did you hear what happened in the Bandit Kingdoms when Ayus came through, that kind of thing. So it'll give the appearance that the individual campaign isn't just happening in a self-contained bubble, that there are actually events happening beyond the sphere of where the PCs are at the time, and it'll really enrich your game, even if you're not going to use the particular events that are happening. The idea that the PCs get the idea that stuff's happening around us without us having to do it. It really adds something to the way a game feels. Plus a lot of this information is kind of scattered in a bunch of different places. Some of it's in this box set, some of it's in this module, some of that's in this Dragon magazine article. The idea is going to be to try to bring it all together, and it's not just a mere timeline. It's not like the Grey Condex, which just lists events by date. This is going to be presented thematically by geography, and it's going to be organized year by year, so that if you're having to, let's say your game takes place in Kaoland in 582, at the moment, you'll know what's supposed to be going on in 582 around the players. It doesn't necessarily have to reflect in your game, but the mere fact that you know what's going on around you will hopefully help you. Maybe if you do want to decide that you want to plug something in, this will give you, into the larger events, this will give you a way to hook it in there. Speaking of hooks, there's going to be a lot of adventure hooks, obviously, ways that the DM could bring the, what's going on into his game. So this is going to be a project that is being worked on on the Patreon side, and different levels of patrons over there are going to be able to have different levels of input. There's going to be a lot of like polls. How do you want to approach this? How should we do that? There's going to be online discussions. So if this sounds like something that you would like to get involved with, not necessarily writing anything, but at least have some creative input in terms of helping shape the form of it and the decision-making process and things like that, then I would absolutely ask you to please go to the link below and join my Patreon. The reason the Patreon is so important is that it makes stuff like this possible, because every minute I'm not writing something that is for sale is a minute that I am writing something for free for Greyhawk, and that's what I would really rather be doing. And having the Patreon out there, having you guys support that work, makes it possible, literally. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to spend the time writing free Greyhawk stuff. And so if this sounds like a neat project that you'd like to hear more about as it's progressing, or if you just want to support the stuff I do here and on the blog, the free downloads, all the free content here, then please visit the Patreon below. Sign up. You can sign up for as low as $2 a month. So by all means, please give it a shot. I really do appreciate your help. And have a wonderful new year. I hope everybody has a great celebration on December 31st. And I will see you soon in the coming year. Have a great day.